We generally picture law enforcement as a physical pursuit, finding a target, raiding a compound, and making an arrest. But locking up a syndicate boss leaves the organization's bank accounts entirely intact. The physical network loses a leader, while the financial network doesn't lose a single cent. Globally, criminal organizations launder between $800 billion and $2 trillion every single year. That equates to up to 5% of the global GDP, constantly flowing through a hidden shadow economy. With that kind of untouched capital, a kingpin sitting in a cell can continue to pay salaries, bribe public officials, and purchase new smuggling equipment from behind bars. To spend those billions in the legal market, criminals rely on 3 specific steps: placement, which sneaks dirty cash into the financial system; layering, which obscures the paper trail through complex transactions; and integration, where the funds re-enter the economy as clean investments. Society is fighting a well-funded parallel economy. In this conflict, the ultimate weapon is tracking the invisible money. That abstract financial machinery we just discussed doesn't just exist on paper. It produces highly visible, devastating ecological destruction in the real world. Look at the sheer logistical scale of illegal timber operations. Moving massive old-growth logs and hiring armed guards requires millions in upfront capital. This is a corporate endeavor. The exact same logic applies to hazardous waste trafficking. Transporting and dumping hundreds of industrial barrels across international borders demands a sprawling, highly organized logistical network. Operations of this magnitude require fleets of trucks, heavy machinery, and expensive international bribes. Criminals can only finance them if they have successfully laundered their profits first. This flowchart illustrates how these crimes intersect. Money laundering sits at the beginning, converting dirty cash into financial flows for corruption, bribery, and environmental crime. Then the loop closes. These crimes generate ill-gotten money that cycles back into laundering, constantly amplifying operations. When illicit activities like these are fueled by hidden capital, environmental protection stops being a purely local effort and becomes a question of global financial transparency. Researchers tested this relationship empirically by analyzing the anti-money laundering frameworks and corruption indices of 192 different countries. This heat map displays the results, revealing a strong 0.52 correlation between money laundering risk and perceived corruption. It highlights a near-identical relationship with bribery at 0.50. Where money laundering risks are higher, bribery risk follows. This scatter plot maps the trend. As money laundering risk increases along the bottom axis, corruption perception rises in tandem along the vertical axis. These correlations indicate that a lack of financial oversight provides a necessary infrastructure for political decay and bribery to take root. When the money is easy to hide, the temptation to misuse power grows. This makes the financial system a critical front in the fight against corruption. By tightening banking oversight, we make the act of paying and receiving bribes far more difficult and detectable. This is the objective of anti-money laundering, or AML, programs. Their specific goal is to disrupt the financial infrastructure that criminal syndicates rely on. Regulators use tools like beneficial ownership registries, which unmask the true individuals hiding behind shell companies, and real-time transaction monitoring to flag and lock down illicit assets before they can enter the economy. When authorities freeze these assets, they impoverish the syndicates. An operation that cannot pay its bribes or fuel its vehicles quickly becomes too expensive to sustain, and the entire logistics network collapses. Financial transparency is a structural requirement for modern safety and ecological preservation. We cannot protect the natural world or governmental integrity by only chasing the physical criminals. We have to catch the money to break the cycle.